Hi, hey, greetings everybody. Welcome to the Art Lexcia podcast. It's me, Wesley Pepper. Second episode of the year. This is episode 215. Yeah, so we're closing in on 220 episodes, and I think that's pretty cool. We'll definitely touch the 250 episodes later on in the year, and that'll be dope. So definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, man. Today, this year, I wanna look at, I wanna focus on certain parts of different parts of the country. I have a really interesting vision, that I wanna work on this year in terms of talking or profiling different artists from specifically different parts of the country. And today we're gonna start off with Granville Cloete. He's from Steinkopf in the Northern Cape. If you're not familiar where that is, it's more closer to the Namibian border, so it's really far. It's a very dry, hot part of the country, and it's a part of the country. Personally, I've never been there, but I know Granville is a very prolific artist. He's a painter, and we're going to be discussing everything about him and his background, his paintings. He's in his studio there, as you can tell, and we're talking about all of that. And just one disclosure. So today's episode, we were talking a lot of English and Afrikaans. So I'll try my best to translate here and there. Because I was like telling Granville now, I think the YouTube translator is poor. It's rather poor, especially when it comes to African languages. But that over there is a topic for another day. But enough of that. So, Granville, my brother, yeah, dis omtrent, hoe laat is dit nou? Dis nou 11:15. Jy gesê is omtrent 38 degrees. Dis Steinkopf. Dit was lekker warm my kant.
Ja,
Maar ja man, hoe gaan dit man?
dankie Wes man dat jy my op die podcast gesit het man. Thanks brother. Ja, ek is Granville
Awe,
van Noord-Kaap,
awe.
Steinkopf. Ja, actually I'm a visual artist for the last 20 years doing visual paint arts. Yeah, ever since 2001. What inspired me is my surroundings, where I come from, the mountains, flowers, the beauty of Namakwa and the Northern Cape. It inspires me. Yeah, so my vision is to become the Northern Cape, a unique Northern Cape artist, to put a unique style there so the world can see it. Yeah, this is my vision of my art, to be a unique genius. Yeah, Wes. Cool.
A unique genius. Maar kom ons begin maar van die begin af man. Let's start from the beginning, my brother man. Tell us a little bit about your background man. So hoe jy begin met die kind. Where did the art, where the creativity start? Some influences and so on, and and then we'll just take it from there.
Yes, actually every kid that grow up has been an artist. Drawing, started to draw at school.
Yeah.
From school banks. Yeah. After 2001, yo brother, there's no way to turn, my brother. And I realized there's no work. I must get a plan to start doing something. So there was a craft shop that was being sponsored by the Department of Arts and Culture. So I decided to join it. So there we started going to festivals, creating our own small exhibitions. Yeah, so and then it grows when you see the money flows. That inspire you also to go and do more art, be one of a kind. So and then the Department of Arts and Culture started to send us on trade shows. So there where you meet clients, and so it goes on. And that's basically how I started. Through that arts and culture show.
Granville,
yes.
Just quickly man, dis so 'n groot tegniese ding man. Ja, lig net gou die kamera op man. Maar dan sien dit so halfde van jou gesig. En as dit moontlik dat jy net 'n bietjie stil kan sit man, want die kamera beweeg so lekker en daar's 'n bietjie van daar's hy like that, yeah. There we go. Yeah, duidelik. Yeah, just like that.
All right, my brother.
All right, man. So just a quick question, man. You said you joined the department of the government was having certain programs there,
Mm.
and you met different people and so forth. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about that, man. So, are there many other visual artists, in that part of the world, and not just visual art, so pottery, crafts, and so forth?
Yeah, we have guys who working with wire, uh, metal.
Mm,
There's one guy that passed on now
mm,
this week. He was a crafter doing these draadkarretjies, small cars, doing all.
mm,
Uh, and there's another guy also paint all this the environment, workerbome, flowers, all that stuff. Because our area is a
mm.
one of a kind unique area where we stay.
Yeah,
Workerbome.
just tell us a little bit about that, man.
Yeah,
What makes it so unique?
the guava tree is only growing in this side, and the flower is springtime. Yeah, people are coming to tourism to visit our town just to see flowers every year. But this year it started early, in about around September last year. So yeah, our area is a tourism attraction area, and we also trying to sell to the tourism small pieces, small craft works. Yeah, it's basically yeah.
Uh, so is the art community that side very very close? You all know each other. You all you talk often. You do projects together and so forth.
We're trying to collaborate with each other. The artists now in the past it was everyone was in his corner. No one really actually working
Yeah.
together as painters. But now we are starting to click
Yeah.
each other. Most everyone
Uh,
want to be seen as that man, that artist.
uh,
So yeah, we are trying
uh,
to come
uh,
together now. And there's a program that the department also started now. It's a VEXA, the Visual Artists Cluster of South Africa, trying to come together,
okay. Yeah. Tell us about
searching
that.
for artists. Yeah, they are around about 160 artists that they want to recruit now in the Northern Cape.
Okay.
Yeah, but now we have a program.
Okay.
They want to put a program. Yes, a program that they put, trying to create now. All the artists come together in this area to build a sculpture to put together all the artists.
Okay.
But this is still in the process. But we trying to come together to get some ideas how to create the piece. But it's still in progress. Yeah, but yeah, we
Yeah.
will have our meeting soon.
It's interesting you mentioned, man, that there's this variety of and draadkarretjies is just for my non-Afrikaans speaking people as
Yeah,
wire cars.
yeah,
Wire cars is real. How can I put it to you? Growing up, especially like on my like I grew up in the early '90s. Like if your parents couldn't afford the car that you buy in the shops,
yeah.
you literally make one out of wire. But there's a real skill involved in that thing, especially like the what is it, the mechanics of a car, so it can move straight, turn, and so forth. And you get people who are really cool who can actually make the steering wheel, the doors open and so forth. So it's a real fucking skill, man. And what is so interesting, and it's probably showing my age, but I remember growing up, you get very creative in playing with those toys, man.
Mm,
So you sort of cosplay a certain, yeah, very creative. Whereas like technology these days, unfortunately, does all the creativity for you.
yeah.
So I just thought I'd just give that for just some perspective. But Granville, man, back to you, my brother, man. You mentioned you're inspired by the surroundings. You mentioned the flowers, the fauna
Mm,
and flora, and so forth. I've noticed in your paintings as well that you do a lot of landscapes.
mm,
Um, 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 you know, the landscape, the flowers, the sometimes cars and sometimes objects and so forth.
mm.
And you paint. So, why did I guess like what prompted you to paint as opposed to use charcoal or pencils or pastels or something? Why oil painting?
Yeah, first of all, oil painting. the art look expensive, more expensive. And the strokes that you get,
Good point.
the strokes that you get out of the oil paint is not the same as the strokes out of the acrylic paint. See, those this you can
explain that to us.
You can paint wet on wet with the oil, and the strokes that you get out of this is, it's for me, it's much creative, one of a kind strokes that they put on with the oil paint. So yeah, I love oil paint, but if the it doesn't get too dry too easily, so you can still touch on it. Yeah, but
yeah.
It's not so good for me. I'm not good at it. Yeah. Yeah, so I keep going on.
Yeah, water-based paint.
Yeah, you must be very creative. Yes.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. I know that with oil painting, it works better in a dry climate.
Yeah.
Because it takes so long to dry, meaning that you can, like you say, you can experiment, you can add more texture to it, and so forth. Or many other paintings, or many other painters in that side also using oil painting. Is it a popular medium in Steinkopf?
Yeah, some guys they doing this this house paint, no paint. Some guys are good at it because they give a unique stroke to them. So the paint that I use, some guys they don't like it. They can't make the stroke of what they want in the techniques they want in their paintings. So I prefer this oil paint that I buy from the shops. Yeah, that's basically what I use.
So also, man, you also self-taught, no?
Yes, I still try to learn some new skills. Hello? So yeah. Yeah, actually, if I got a chance to go and study, I would take it. Both ends. Yeah, but now on, I keep on trying every day, still learning, still growing. I can't say that I'm a genius, but I'm still learning. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Just for my listeners, there, we broke up briefly there. So just explain that bit again about being self-taught.
Yeah. What I teach me all these years. When I go to a school now, if I go to an art school, I will go and learn someone else's skills of techniques. What I learned over these years, what I started to put on the canvas of the strokes that I do of the paint, not someone else can't do. See, so that will make me a unique, one of a kind design. So yeah, every day you must paint and grow, so that you can create get more skills or techniques out of the paint. You can't sit there and wait for the painting to finish up himself. You must start painting, and if you don't feel to paint, that moment you must start to paint. That will bring more creativity out. Yeah, it's basically So yeah, keep on every day.
Is there any influences? Is there anybody's technique that you admire, that you try to mimic, that you're impressed by? Influences?
I'm very afraid of that. I don't want to be associated with a copycat. You see,
okay.
Try. That's why sometimes I'm slow. They take me almost 1 year to finish up something unique, to grow into it. Actually, the piece that I'm now busy is, I still growing. I still don't know what I'm doing. You see, I still figure out what is it I just doing. So now I just making strokes. Maybe they pop something out. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Ja, nee, ik verstaan.
So the painting.
I
This painting is a commission work that I must finish up. This one. I must finish it up because the customers they want they work because they pay, they put already deposit onto it. But yeah, must just finish it. But it takes time.
I was gonna move into that. Sorry, brother man. I wanted to actually ask about that because I also noticed following you on social media that you do a lot of commissions,
Yeah.
a lot of portraits, which makes sense. Painters do a lot of that. So I mean, so are you popular that side? Jy weet as jy die jy gesê jy's mos 'n genius van Steinkopf, so jy's seker lekker popular daai kant of hoe?
Man, ons mense is not into art. They wanted to have it for free. Man. See, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Now you can't. The paint is expensive. You see,
Yeah.
For free.
Canvas. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to make my own canvas, and nowadays I don't have much time to make my own canvassing. So I buy. If I have money, I buy. So yeah.
So when you say
sorry?
When you say you used to prepare your own canvas, that's actually quite an old technique. It's quite an ancient technique, given that we're in 2026.
Yeah.
Explain to us how would you do that? So you would buy the raw canvas, the natural canvas, and prepare it like that. But just explain to us how you would go about doing that.
Yeah, actually, buying wood, cloth, gewone lappen, make my own canvas. Yeah, basically, but I didn't go too big for making canvas because it's not, maybe it's a brass lap. You can, yeah, even the curtains, I take it, the old curtains, but I recycle it. You see, and just prepare, you must just prepare it nice, well designed. So, yeah.
How would you do it? Do you use PVA glue, PVA and glue? How would how would you paste it on board or you stretch it over a frame or how?
Yeah, it's in many ways. When sometimes I take it overboard, sometimes I make a canvas, prepare it with PVA glue, make it perfect, man. It's strong, make it stronger. Yeah, but I didn't use big surfaces. Sorry?
Yeah, no, continue. Sorry.
Well, I didn't use big surfaces on the canvas that I used to create myself. So small pieces. It's more better for that old recycling cloth. Yeah.
Interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. You also mentioned like your size, and I've also noticed that the size of your paintings are small. But you also mentioned that you guys do a lot of work for tourism, for the tourist market. And I know that with the tourist market, the smaller size is better because the traveling and so forth and so forth. And people need to package it. So is that got something to do with the size of your artwork? Is it specifically going to do most of your stuff for the tourist market and for the local? So I mean, bigger sizes won't really work there. Is that accurate?
No, actually, I'm versatile, man. I'm commission works. The target is not the tourism. Actually, see, I must prepare my for anything.
Okay.
Commission work.
Okay.
Exhibitions, trade shows, and festivals. I like the festivals when you can interact more with people straightforward.
Yeah.
I like you gambling. Yeah. So to go to you don't have to exhibit in a building or gallery. If you have a market, go with it. Go with that flow. Someone is interested, his friends is interested, so you develop or create for your own environment in the art world. Because the art world is small. But nowadays we have too many artists who wants to be painters, draw nice. They think if you draw a nice picture, you are that man of. It takes time and hard work to establish you in that way of life. Verstaan je? Om kunstenaars, je moet slaap, drink, eat, paint of art. Je moet determined wees, verstaan je? Nowadays I got a sideline hustle, verstaan je? Daarom sou 'n bietjie wat Januarie, Desember maand jy moet daar iets extra incomes in verstaan jy.
Ja. Ja.
Was die lifestyle? When you have kids.
Ja.
Jy moet
Hoeveel like is jy?
Ja, can I say it on social media? You be an artist. Yeah, stuff. I only have 2 kids now. 2 kids. And they also want to paint. They also want to put their name on the canvas.
Actually,
said,
the
no,
line,
buy your
the
own
connection kind of thing.
It fight. Oh, I buy more than a gift.
Okay, the line, the thing was broke up. The connection sort of broke up there. But it's alright. That was just a silly question, man.
Okay.
Something interesting that you mentioned is your versatility, man. So you understand that there's a certain format, there's a certain format for the tourism market, for these trade fairs, and for the local community. But which of those ones, suits you best? Which of those do you prefer? What subject matter do you prefer? Do you prefer working on?
Portraits. I love to do portraits with people and put. Some people give you a photo to paint from the photo. Now, if you said it doesn't look like you, it knows be more sharper, what, then you can use that photo and crop it. Because the artwork will differ from the photo. I want to make an artwork, not a photo. You see, so it's up to the customer what he wants. If she wants an artwork or a photo. You create guys with super realistic paint, but
yeah.
I'm not into that. I want to paint. I want to see a paint stroke, paint brush. Yeah. So
Yeah. They call it truth to material. I think that's the right word for it.
Yeah.
No, I get that. In fact, interesting point. And I think about maybe a few years ago. Definitely, I interviewed an artist who does these hyper photorealist type of work, and I was really interested to know, like, where did the technique come from? Where the style came from? That was an interesting conversation, and like what you mentioning, I'm more lean to what you do. I also want to see the paint stroke, the brush stroke, the charcoal mark, because that's hyper photorealist. I mean, you can always just take a photo. I mean, you can just use your camera for that.
Yeah.
If you want to. But again, that's just how I am. But like, I totally get that. And sometimes with in building up colors or texture, stuff like that, it creates another layer, it creates another feel around the painting, and that could actually be another part of the person's personality that the camera can't capture. For example, expression in their eyes and small micro expressions in the nose, the mouth, the lips, and stuff like that. Color and texture of the hair. So I actually think so in many ways, but that's just me. Sometimes that is a more accurate portrait. But like another follow-up question on the on sort of your range of styles and all of that. I also noticed that you painted a lot of broken down cars, bakkies, and stuff like that. So the landscape in Steinkopf, tell us about that, man. So I mean, obviously I know there's the flower, then the Makolan flowers, but it always looks can I say it always looks open. It always looks open, and it looks like there's miles and miles of landscape. So just explain that to us, man. Just explain how do you go about choosing your subject matter that's outside of portraits and flowers.
Yeah, the old cars symbolize many stuff. That hard work, that old car, rusty car. How many years? Yes, doing hard work, going through pain and love, and yeah. So old cars, it tells me the struggle that car goes through, and how in life you must struggle to get or do something for yourself. Yeah, oh, I love old cars, man. There's many old cars around there. We go into the fields, landfill. Yeah, so for me, this old cars symbolize life, man. Struggle, how to overcome. An old car, you can turn it up, panel beat it again and make it nice. Understand? So yeah, old cars. I like old cars to renovate it, recycle it. I said recycle. Yeah, yeah.
Do you paint on it?
Sorry?
You paint on these old cars, or you just paint the car but not on the car?
No, not on the car actually. I like to go into the field and looking for old cars of people's old cars too. Yeah, capturing. If I can't sit there, I capture a photo, my own photo from my own phone. Yeah, most of the time I use my own photos to work from them to get that one of a kind.
Interesting.
Understand? I don't want to be a copycat,
Another
man.
Asian.
Yeah.
Excuse?
Actually,
What's going on? Say again?
I don't want to be a copycat painter.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, we had a connection problem. But anyway, I just want to actually make a point about that. This is to my listeners actually, but so I've noticed, I've been podcasting for a while now, man, and I've been talking to artists from all over the country, as you were aware of, and I've noticed a very, very consistent thing. I also tried to interview an artist in Accra, in Ghana, as well, and it was very similar. Whenever I try to record artists outside of a major city, no, I experience this, and in townships, and also if they are using Telkom, which is ironic because I'm also using that network. But I've noticed that thing being consistent. Um, it's it's a concern, and it shows me the lack of infrastructure outside of major cities. I can actually go on and on and on about that, but yeah. Anyway, Granville, brother man, okay, man, we were just before that break, we were talking about painting these old cars, but I wanted to raise a point, man. Something I also notice in your work is that you also do a lot of painting outdoors. So you go there with your easel and you actually paint in nature. That as a concept is something that's actually not as popular as it was, say, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I think there's many reasons for that. Technology is definitely one of it. Artists spend most of the time in the studio. Personally, I've actually done a few in my student years. I actually did a painting like that, actually in nature. Um, it was actually not as easy as it was. I mean, to actually paint with the wind and the sun and so forth, those type of elements has got a different, calming maybe effect. But to actually paint in nature, your concentration has got to be has got to be sharper. You've got to be quicker because things move. Wind, a bird can come in, an animal or whatever. Just tell us a little bit about that, man. Why, or rather, why and why do you choose to paint live in nature versus like in a studio?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes to paint from a photo of some guys like to download photos and paint from. For me to go in nature, you express your more better than painting from a photo of commission work. The strokes that you make, you are free flow man. You express yourself. Daar zie je gecapture. Verstaan je? Hoe paint je je phone aan, charge raken, jy wil nie hê moet vol paint raak of tablet, whatever. So vir my is dit 'n free flow. Jy sien gecapture, jy sien disturbance. Verstaan? Mind is free man. Sometimes it's so bietjie too heavy in your studio. Sometimes you are broke, you say, leaving the studio, go look for something, paint, yeah, to express you. And you came from there, you are feeling great, you are a new person, a new painter. Yeah. So yeah, it's actually for me, it's sometimes better to go outside, but it's hot, most. It's warm.
Yeah, ek wou gevra het, dit moet lekker warm wees, my broer. Jy kan mos nie van 12, jy kan seker na 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So yeah, actually when I rise up early about 6, 7, I go 7, I leave at home.
Boy,
12 o'clock I must be
oggend.
back. Yeah,
Okay.
12 o'clock I must be back. The heat is killing me.
Yeah. Just for my just in case the Google translation gets that wrong, we were just Grant was just talking of he prefers to go early on in the morning, between 6 by 12 he's got to be back home, because as we know, in that part of the world, it gets north of 35, 38, closer to 45 degrees regularly during summer, which is obviously horrible to be outside standing, because the sun will literally burn you to death. But
only
also
bushes.
interesting how you say it sort of frees you up. It sort of changes your technique. I actually get that. I totally get that. And it also makes your lines quicker. Sort of change your actual technique. And I totally get that. Do you think that there's just a follow up question on that? Do you think that people appreciate paintings, or rather, can your audience see that if something is painted live in nature versus in the studio, and do they prefer the one over the other? Have you noticed anything like that?
That's why, yeah, that's a difference. That's why I always capturing myself, making a selfie or photo. You see, just to get that proof and put it on social media, so that the customers, the audience, must see that I was going out live. Yeah, and most of that paintings are gone. See, so it's better to do it like.
Granville, because of this poor connection, man. I wanted to sort of dwell more into your paintings and stuff like that, but I think there's just two more things I want to cover, and then we'll wrap it up, and then I will try my best to add more visuals to the recording, and put references to other work, because like I said, there's two major things I want to ask you about. The first one is, and you mentioned it, is which I think is incredible. Just so, by the way, is that, and I've noticed, that's why is that you put for pictures of yourself actually painting in nature, and then people will relate to that. How successful do you how successful has social media been for you in terms of like broadcasting your work, and which platforms do you use the most? And there's another follow-up question I want to make on that, but let's just start there.
Yeah, actually, Facebook is by the main man. Facebook was first, YouTube. So I would say Facebook. I recently joined TikTok. I never liked TikTok or what. Yeah, but Facebook was the social platform that brings the most money. Yeah.
Interesting. And Instagram?
Yeah, I was on Instagram, but now I didn't. There's so many platforms that I try to want to make one successful. You see, you start with TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. They're all the same. So I rather focus on one platform to make that one work. You see, that's the issue that I'm fighting with. To make one platform that works.
So on Facebook, so what is your sort of strategy on there, man? How do you market yourself? Yeah, everybody. Yeah, man. So there's been a connection problem, and we kind of cut off again. So the rhythm of the conversation is broken, unfortunately. But I'm glad Granville managed to log on again. So I think, just for the sake of the overall episode, I think we'll just wrap it up over here. But I'll just kind of summarize a little bit, and then I'll ask Granville just to comment, and then we'll wrap up with these social media handles and so forth. And Sure, Granville, man. Just a few observations, my king. Some of the stuff that really stood out about what we spoke about is how you understand and interact with your surroundings, how you position yourself physically in the surroundings, and sort of become part of the surroundings, and how that sort of translates to the canvas. I thought how you spoke about actually creating or preparing your own canvas. That was also very, very interesting. And the tourism market versus the commission market versus your own work, how you sort of balance those three. I thought that was really dope. Yeah, man, we've got some interesting shots on your paintings that you are busy with there. So I actually wanted to talk a bit longer, and sort of delve in, maybe actually see you paint. But Ash, man, I don't want this thing to cut again, man, because it's kind of, like I said, it's gonna break the rhythm of the episode, and that's kind of, yeah, I don't want that. So let's just wrap up here, man. So just before that last cut, we were talking about social media, about you using Facebook mostly, and yeah, I mean, Facebook is the biggest social media platform in South Africa, in terms of traffic and so forth. You spoke about Twitter, TikTok just before we cut. So yeah, just wrap up there and just tell us, like, what other platforms do you use, and which one well, obviously you said Facebook was your most successful, but just tell us a little bit about more how you interact with different clients, how you chat to them, what type of strategies you use on Facebook, and then we'll wrap it up.
Actually, on Facebook, I just showing my lifestyle. And if you as the audience, you fell in love with me, you will probably buy something. You see, you must grow into on someone's heart and mind. Jy kan nie net verwag iemand must buy something. Who are you? Where you come from? You see all that. See, people must fall in love with you. What you do, who you are. Yeah, it's basically in my motto that I believe in.
To the point and dope. I fucking love it. I love it. You said you don't worry with TikTok, nah? But are you on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm
Okay.
Steve Arts on TikTok. Granville Cloete.
Yeah. Give us your social media handles, man. So on Facebook, what is your? Do you have a social media? Do you have a Facebook page, or is it just a stand page? I mean, do you have a like page? Or yeah, just give us your various handles. And just to my listeners, I'll obviously add all those handles in the description box below as well. But yeah, sure, King. Continue.
You can just search Colwyn Cloete. Colwyn Cloete on any platform you want to go. Look for me. Yeah.
And
TikTok, I'm Steve Artstar. It's my company's name, my business name, Steve Artstar.
you check. I wanted to ask about that also, man. I wanted to talk about the company because I'm fascinated behind how artists' relationship with entrepreneurship as well, man. How they run a company. What is But yeah, man, like, I don't want this thing to cut again. I don't. It's also gonna make editing a bit of a nightmare for me. But we can always do a follow-up interview later on in the year. Definitely. And what I will do is, I will obviously put this episode together, but I'll also chop it up in shorts, which I usually try to do that a week after I publish the or premiere the episode, but I'll communicate that with you on on WhatsApp. And I guess just in closing, man, is there any shows besides commission work that you are working on for 2026? Any exhibitions, anything like that you can highlight for us now?
The long time dream or plan is to do a solo exhibition. You see, and that thing to do it is actually you're gonna. For me, a solo exhibition can be in your dining room also. It doesn't need to be in a gallery. Just promote it good. People, 2, 3 billionaires come and visit you. Yeah, one of them buy
I
a
love that.
painting. Yeah, it doesn't need to be in a gallery. Let's get out of that mindset. That's why most of the people, guys that paint, they are training into their own poverty mind of because you must be at the gallery. You see? And I want to break that chain, man. If I got the audience, who knows? See? Yeah, that is my mindset that I put there.
It's my brother, man. From the Art Lexcia perspective, we will support you, broadcast your work on all our platforms as much as you can. Please let me know if and when there's anything else. We'll definitely use our platform to broadcast because I think that is great, and I think it's dope to sort of close with that. And just for my viewers, I just want to give you some perspective. I'm not gonna mention names and shit like that because I don't. This platform is not for complaining about what's happening in different galleries. But as you know, the conflict that's happening with the Venice Biennale and the censorship in and around that. My point there, and like Granville was saying, is that like I think that is just a different mindset where we think that those spaces or those platforms must control. We must sometimes always ask their permission to make art. I don't think art is like that. Like Granville said, you can just use somebody's living room as long as there's an audience. I fucking love that. I love that. I think that's a brilliant way to actually to end it off because I don't think that I think that these old let me say this old guard, these platforms, galleries, and so forth, have been around and been holding monopoly over the art for too long, and I think the time has come up. Their time is up. At least that's according to me, and that's all I'm going to say about that current conflict with the Venice Biennale and the censorship in and around that. So, Granville Cloete, dankie my Brahman dat jy deurgekom het, want ek weet vandag was 'n bietjie was 'n bietjie op en af, weer die connection was 'n bietjie op en af, maar jy weet like so what man. En as ek sal hele ding by mekaar sit. I'll make it work together, you know. I'll make it work. En ek sal communicate op WhatsApp. Ek sal die ding seker premier in volgende week. Want as 'n episode wat ek die week moet opsit. So I think I'll publish this maybe so next week this time. Maar ek sal communicate met jou my bro. Maar tot dan man. Dankie dat jy thanks that you came through. And let's keep in touch, my brother. Man.
Maybe we can be in the field.
Not in summer, bro. Ja, bro, ek like jy van te warm kry nie, hoor.
I will take an umbrella with me.
Net 'n umbrella, okay. Okay.
Sure, man.
It's funny. It's funny. Nee, duidelik bro. Ons sal in touch bly. Salut.
Ja, respect man.
Awe. Duidelik.
Respect.